What's going on? The Rad Picker. Sorry if I look this way. It's been a while. Yes, I will sing it. It's been a while since I could say I wasn't addicted. Sorry, I do that every time, but it's been a while, so you haven't heard it. Sorry about the glare from these bifocal glasses, but I won't be able to see what I need to see without them. So anyways, how are y'all doing? Welcome to the channel. If you are new here, please subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything but your apathy. But anyways, it's been a while since I made a video. I have been busy. For those of you that don't know or follow me on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, I am an everything seller. I am part-time. This past week, I took a position with a company on an offer I couldn't refuse. But like any good salesman or somebody that's charismatic, if you don't mind me saying, because I have the ability to read people and I have a little bit of discernment, it lends me to being a sucker as well. Started Monday. Yesterday will be my last day, my friends. I have taken positions over the years here and there. For those of you that don't know, I am a contractor. I've told the stories how I got into reselling kind of by necessity. And I've mentioned before that throughout the years being a contractor, whether working for someone else or for myself, I've tried different things. Got my life and health insurance license, lasted a week. Did different sales jobs, been trained, was a sales manager for a roofing company. I was a lumber salesman at a big lumber yard for about a year and a half or so, but mostly I've been in business for myself. And I got to the point, because of my reselling, my live selling isn't, like I said, I'm not on district. So I've done Whatnot a little bit. It's not as profitable for me. I've not focused on it. I do have a lot of stuff that would do good live, and it doesn't do so good on eBay. My eBay store is doing good since I don't do many lives. I've focused on that. But recently, because I've been so busy, I was looking for a job with someone else. And I have a lot of skills, but I'm looking for big money. Well, anyways, I took a position with a company, and allegedly it's possibly fraudulent. But anyways, guys, I'm not going to work 70 hours for a salary that ends up being like 25 bucks an hour. I mean, with promises of all sorts of bonuses and stipends and all this stuff, it's just not worth it. So good luck to them. I am unemployable. But it was funny. And the reason I'm making this video, and that's the topic, is business and motivation. And not to get too Tony Robbins on you, sometimes I need to be reminded what my skills are. Sometimes you can get in a funk and, even though you know the right things to do, maybe fiscally or just physically, you're not capable of doing them. Or maybe you suffer with depression or whatever. I've been there a couple of times in my life. I'm not a depressed type person. I am a very optimistic person. I am a believer. And so that is where my focus is when I'm feeling down. But I've been in places where I felt really down. And so for those of you that ever suffer with that, I feel your pain. I used to think when I was younger, like, well, just snap out of it. It's in your head. It's not. It's a real thing. It makes you want to sleep all the time and sort of things like that. But I realize everything, if you're wise, and I'm 49, so hopefully I'm learning a little bit. It takes me longer than most, that no matter what you do, if you think it's a failure, whether it's reselling or maybe you've tried something that you were passionate about and it didn't work out right away and you kind of gave up, you would say that's a failure, but it's not a failure. You can learn from every life experience. That's what I'm getting at. And I'll take even this last week as a life experience. And it's funny. Today I woke up and it's been a long week, exhausting, 14-hour days, leave the house at dark, get up at 5, out the door by 6, and get home 6, 7, 8, 9 o'clock. And but it did something for me. There's something about that early morning that is really important. It really is. And in the reselling, if you're like me, I stay up to all hours of the night or into the morning and get up at 10 and, work all day, but it doesn't feel the same as when you get up early and you get stuff done, man. From the whatever time you wake up, 5, 6, 7 to 10, 11, 12, for me are the most productive. Even though moving slow, and then something about that crisp morning air for me, I think it's a real thing about getting up early and doing that. So it revitalized me, revigorated, made me just kind of, dude, why are you going to hustle for someone else when you have the skills? You've done it before. So again, the whole time, that's why it's so hard for me when I see processes that aren't efficient. I immediately think I could do this better. Well, that's what I'm here to bring value. But then when the money gets squirrely, then I'm out. So that's where I'm at. I'm revitalized. I feel great. I'm so at peace. The decision to walk away from something when you first start, I don't advise this. It's like starting, your kids in sports and they want to quit. I have a little different opinion. For example, I had my second daughter start out in volleyball. Right now, she's in college playing basketball. She's 5'11", can jump. She's a pretty good athlete, and she started out in volleyball. She played in junior high. And with the high school team, she didn't enjoy it, and she wanted to quit. And I told her, well, quit. And a lot of people say, when you start something, finish it. Well, I feel like if you're not going to give it your all, you're cheating that team. And somebody else that may not be as good or maybe better, you're just taking up space. So leave it to the people that love it, and you go do something you love and put all your energy, time, and effort into that. So I may be different than most people, but that's how I feel. But it also lends itself to quitting early, like YouTube, reselling something, doesn't go your way and you quit. My advice is stick with it. And I have people tell me that all the time. I'll tell you a cool story. There was a young man who started just like Thursday of this week, and I had to go pick him up. He had car trouble. Sharp young man. He's into media, and I don't know his whole life story. But man, you talk, because sometimes young people, I'm sorry if you're young, I was the same way, can be annoying. They're just trying to impress you. They just talk all the time. Every time you do something, they act like they know it, and you're like, just shut up for a second. This kid was not. Every time I talked, he could reply, retort, engage, and everything he had to say, I was like, this kid's a winner. And I told him that. It was fun and I told him, I said, I don't mean to be Tony Robbins. I was talking like I talk now, nonstop, just going thought after thought. And he's just sitting there, and he wasn't, he seemed to be taking it all in. Sorry, that bothers me. And I thought about that. I thought, oh, there you go. And he asked me some questions. We had a discussion. I was telling him about reselling, how I'm passionate about that. I was telling him about YouTube because he does media and he's way better at that stuff. He could edit. He does professional commercial type stuff. And I said, hey, we should get together. Well, I was just telling him stories, trying to help him, give him some wisdom. If he picked up on anything, that would be great. And I said something about my YouTube. Yeah, I said, I've never really focused on it. It's kind of just something I pop on and do. I said, but I do love it. It's fun. I meet people in the reselling world and we share ideas, become friends, have relationships. And I said something about it. I said, I probably need to focus on it and do it a little better. And he said, do it. So he went in, he's like, man, you really need to do that. He goes, I'll bet you're good at it. He never saw anything. I didn't even tell him what my channel name was. But it was funny. He started encouraging me, and I kind of thought that, sorry, they just got home, opened the door right during my video. How rude. But anyways, he was telling me, here I am trying to give him wisdom, and he said something, and, I was in the midst of thinking, I'm not cut out for this. God bless whoever can do this. It's not rewarding. It's not financially where I want to be, even with the promises. And I've been fooled a lot of times. That's what I'm saying. Because I read it, people, sometimes I can be fooled off the bat. They seem really charismatic and nice. They're not. Maybe that's a show. So it takes a little time sometimes to figure people out. But once they show you who they are, believe them and hope they change if they have any flaws, like we all do. But after hearing that, it wasn't like I was like, I'm going to do this reselling content. I'm not doing this now for financial gain, which helps because I'm not even monetized, but it's something I'm passionate about. I like it. I like the reselling. I had my buddy Jeff, who I've mentioned a bunch, message me Thursday and said he got another lick out of a storage unit and would I like to come by? And I thought, with this job, I can't. I mean, there isn't no going to the doctor, the dentist. I mean, obviously, if you had to, they probably would let you, but it was like go, 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 nonstop stress, just always a problem, putting out fires. And I'm like, I don't want to live that way. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to do my own thing and worry about my own business. And at least I'm rewarded financially. So that being said, what do you do when things aren't exactly as they seem? Well, you just put your nose to the grindstone, or any cliche you want to enter in, and you do it. And you do it well, and you have confidence in yourself. No matter, everyone's got some sort of skill, and some people may have not developed theirs. They may not have the experience, but you have a skill. I don't know what it is. Maybe you're an introvert. You're really good at computers, figuring stuff out. I'm not. I'm a loudmouth, and I'm flighty, and I have a bird brain or squirrel brain, whatever you want to call it, ADD, ADHD, whatever it is. I am certainly in that category. I call myself an 80%er, where I start something, don't complete it, but I like to go. And I guess that kind of relates to my skill as a framer, a carpenter. Framing houses is when you with the wood, you build the house, set the windows, and then someone else does the rest of it. Well, that's the kind of business that it's very structured. You got to start with A. You don't start B before you start A, but you can get a lot done in a day. And the homeowner always comes by on the first day, and you got walls up, and they're just ecstatic. It's new, it's fresh, it's exciting. No matter how tired you are, how hot it is, how many splinters you have, how much you're bleeding, man, when you walk away, you feel like you did something. The job I was doing this past week, we were refinishing log cabins, sandblast them, stain them. And although it looks beautiful, to me, it doesn't have the reward that you completed something. And to somebody, it may be different, but for me, it wasn't like a craftsman type thing where you felt like you were using a skill. It's just labor intensive. Although I wasn't the one having to stain or sandblast, I was the one running back and forth and dealing with customers and colors and all this stuff that I can see it takes a certain type of person, much like concrete work or sheetrock or painting or even roofing, where it's repetitive and labor intensive. There's skill to all those things. I'm not saying that because, trust me, not everyone can paint. You think you just slap paint on the wall. You got to keep your roller wet, son. You go top to bottom the whole way, and you feather in as you go, 20% roller over your last line. And then you look back at it, put a light on it, make sure there's no runs or streaks. Never run your roller dry. Sorry, there's a little advice. So not everyone can paint, but it's the same thing. And in painting, everything's about the prep work. It's 80% prep work, taping, and then cleaning your stuff. Anyone can spray on paint and have someone roll behind them, but it's all about prep, and I hate that sort of tedious type stuff. So anyways, reselling is not like that. It fits perfectly with my brain. I'm sitting here with all sorts of nickels and coins. I am a coin nerd. I buy these mint sets and then look for errors on them, crack them open, sell them individually. I sold a 1969 S Kennedy $50 on eBay just the other day for like $16. I sold a penny for $50. That was out of a mint set that you can buy for like $15 off eBay. So coins is a very tedious thing, but it's treasure hunting, literally. I rather deal with coins than cards because for me, cards, they created rarity, and that's brilliant marketing on their behalf. with these different variants and stuff, where coins are something that's supposed to be perfect, but there's mint errors from the dies. The blank piece of metal that they stamp is called a planchet, and there's planchet errors. Sometimes at the mint, like this might be copper zinc on this nickel, depending on the year. They may have one for some reason that is silver or struck on a foreign planchet, and those are highly valuable. So it's not a matter of somebody's trying to create a rarity. There are rarities that happen by accident, and that made them valuable. So you can even take a coin out of your pocket change that's worth hundreds, tens of dollars, or even into the thousands of dollars, but you have to do your research. And what helps is, I know it's right here. This is not the one. This is actually Newsmatics. This talks about grading. When you think you have one of these coins, most of the time it's about condition. 99% of the time, unless you find one of these errors that's struck on the wrong planchet or a damaged coin that's damaged from the mint. And by the way, there's a lot of coins that look like they're just been road rashed. I don't have one right in front of me, although there's thousands here. But it's actually, if you look under a coin microscope, you can see that there's letters coming through it. And that's what they call a double stamp or a blockage error. I think I got that correctly. There's terms. I'm just now getting really versed in it. But there's these errors. If you ever find a coin that has a different face on the back, for instance, if you had a dime that had a penny, like the Lincoln Memorial on the back, those are highly valuable. Make sure you put those away. If you ever sent them off to get graded, collectors at some of these auction houses will pay in the tens of thousands of dollars for certain ones. So it's an awesome hobby. It takes a lot of time, and it's very nerdy, but that's the nerd side of me coming out. More on that later. We don't want to bore people with the coins, but man, I think I'm going to do a coin channel at some point because I love it. I would pay somebody cash for just a jar of coins. You wouldn't see how excited I am. The 1992 Close AM. If you find a 1992 penny, you'll probably need a magnifying glass, some way to magnify it. On the back, the obverse, the reverse. The obverse is the front, reverse is the back. Where the A and the M are together in America, if they're almost touching, like literally look like they're touching to the naked eye, that's called a Close AM. It's a variant. They sell anywhere from a couple $100 to $700-800. One in good condition can go a lot higher. One graded in good condition can go into the thousands. Right there in your pocket change. So, sorry, back to coins. So that's the deal. So I guess to sum up this video, whatever it is you do, maybe you have to work a job. I had to choose to go work a job out of necessity. I have a large family. I have to provide. Reselling is a great side business. Was full-time for almost a year. I haven't done my taxes or totaled it up, but I'm going to guess I did 40, 50,000. And then plus some of the side work I did, building decks and stuff, obviously supplemented that, but that's not enough for me. I need to make more than that, like double at least. So that's where I'm at. Full transparency, full disclosure. But anyways, on the live selling, man, I hope to find a platform or build my whatnot. I have not focused on it at all. It's hard to do that. I had a little birdie tell me about District that there's some drama over there. I'm not going to get into it, but like I said before, I loved it. Tomorrow's the Super Bowl. I started on the Super Bowl last year, so that would be a year. I've been off since something like August. I've said it before. I was banned wrongfully. Didn't do anything wrong. Wasn't communicated with, and but what a bummer. But I had a phone call from someone the other day, just kind of talking me through it, saying they wish I was still there. And I said, honestly, I do too. But it is what it is. You got to move forward. So when things in life happen, learn your lessons, deal with it. Even though you may be down for a day, the sun will come up tomorrow. So that is my encouragement for today. Shout out to all you resellers or those of you who are just interested in it. Thank you for following my channel this far. Sorry I haven't made a video in a while. I actually did one, a pretty long one, and I had my camera vertical, the wrong orientation. So I didn't post it. I think I sent it over to Instagram or something. But those of you out there, shout out Winter Antiques, Mama Bear Reseller, Little Buddha, Hard Rock Resales, Melanie. I'm going to miss all you people. If I miss you, forgive me. You know how I am. I just decided to do this off the fly, so I'm not that smart. All you resellers out there. Oh, I don't think they'll mind me saying, this past Tuesday, I was invited on the Nashville Flippers podcast, and last Sunday I had to message them and say, man, I can't make it. If we do it another time, that'd be great, but I can't, and that was that. But man, I was excited about that. These are local folks to me. I love them. So Ray and the guys, shout out to you guys. Go follow them if you're not following them. Subscribe. A lot of information, a lot on Pokemon. Funny guys, and they seem, I don't know them personally, but seem like a great group of people that really care. I saw them at the Nashville meetup, but just shook Ray's hand, but that was about it. But looking forward to maybe doing this in the future. I don't know if they'll invite me back or not. Hopefully they do. I said I wasn't going to do any podcasts anymore after the drama, excuse me, from my last one. Apparently some people don't want me on people's podcasts. That's so bizarre to me. But it was funny. The guy that called me from a platform said, dude, I was telling this other people, I told him about you, and he said, no, I haven't heard about Rad. And he goes, dude, he's a sweetheart of a guy, and sweetheart is pushing it a little bit. But I said, yeah, you're right. I said, I'm everybody's friend unless you prove otherwise. And then I'm probably a problem. And then he followed it up with, he goes, I mean, he's a bit of a character. So I love that. Bob Probert. Pretty soon I'll have the Bob Probert hair. Look at that. Just gets thinner and thinner in the light, folks. But that's reality. I'm getting old. But anyways, I love you all. Stay out there picking. When I get back from Jeff's, I'm going to do some shorts and probably some stuff on my TikTok. I'm going to film it because I always make out like a bandit. Oh, I've had a ton of returns. I think maybe one of these people that doesn't like me, this is a little bit conspiracy theory. One of these people may have some fake accounts because it's bizarre that I get this many returns and some weird stuff. I had the poster situation to keep you abreast. I sent a 1972 poster out in an empty tube. I had a tube sitting by my desk. I assumed that was it. Didn't look in it. I'm an idiot. I made videos about that on TikTok. But I ended up finding the real tube, and it had that poster plus all my other ones. There was another black light from the 70s. It was Vulture, I think, and some other real good ones. I think there was like a Malcolm X. There was a Marilyn Monroe, Elvis, James Dean. I don't know what else is in there. It was all of mine. So there's no telling. I didn't even want to look. Sent it out. Never received, as far as I know. I got a message saying I've been patient, and I had to explain to the guy, look, I have no reason to cheat anybody, never would. I can make mistakes. If I do, I'll make it up to you, I promise you. And I really wanted him to get all those posters. And I don't know, we haven't been back in correspondence. I said, just give it a day or two. Hopefully it'll get there. And I wanted his response. Somebody on TikTok said, I would love to see his reaction when he opens it. Well, I don't have any of that information. There's one thing I think, because I racked my brain thinking what could have happened. In my haste, even after the mistake, with all my shipping, that was the first thing I did. I grabbed the tube with the posters in it, and I'm afraid I may have reprinted the same label and put it on there, but that would mean return postage or postage due. So I went up to my post office, asked them, do you have any leftover stuff? Because that issue with a Maxbox box that may or may not been shipped via FedEx, one or the other. So I was trying to deal with that and find these packages, and they didn't have anything. So let me warn you, maybe it's a good idea. I probably still won't do it. First of all, double check your packages before you ship them. And maybe you should watch them scan them because I wouldn't accuse anybody of stealing or anything like that. But, you know, if they see thousands of items a day, maybe somebody just says, hey, no one's going to pick this up, and they take, I don't know what happened. But it bums me out because the poster was in 1972 with the tiger on it, black light velvet. You know, it's iconic. It's probably $150, $200 poster. I sold it for $100. I think I bought it for $50. And that bums me out. Plus the other posters and the disappointment of somebody thinking that I was trying to pull a fast one on them. That bothers me more than anything. Look, I've made some dumb mistakes. I will own it. I will say it on my videos because sometimes it's so ridiculous. I'm like, how is that possible? And I get it from their perspective. Like if I ordered something, I'd want it. But whatever the case may be, fully refunded plus some. Always, always, always. You have my word, but I don't like to be accused of doing anything shady. There's enough of that going around as it is. So with that being said, double check, pick, stay positive, stay picking, and stay rad. Till the next time, I love you, mean it, and please hit that button.